So, since the beginning of 2025, let's see what Drake has been up to. He leaked a freestyle where he basically has a 2.5 minute cry session about his friends dancing to a song. I mean, the song admittedly is against him and it's saying some very disparaging things about you, but it's all over a song. Then he got banned from the Raptors game from being on the mic because he couldn't stop perving on a girl in the crowd, sending shots at DeMar DeRozan, who was not playing at the time, and a bunch of other stuff. Mind you, he is an ambassador of the team, but because he was so unhinged, unfocused on the task at hand, and again, perving on a girl in the front row that he don't even know. He don't even know how old she is. He is banned from being on the microphone ever. And oh yeah, this is the biggest one. He withdrew a petition, a legal petition, but then filed the full federal lawsuit of defamation because of Not Like Us. Yeah, I'm officially done. I am no longer a Drake fan. And to the Aubrey's Angels or the Aubrey's bots, those people are going to be listening to that and they're going to be so surprised that I'm saying that I'm no longer a fan now. Because according to them, any little bit of criticism that is levied at Drake means that you are a hater, means that you never liked him and you were just waiting on his downfall. Let me tell you a little story. I was a fan of Drake going back to 2009 when I saw So Far Gone. I saw the cover on thatpiff.com. For the people who don't remember thatpiff.com, it was a wonderful time. And I would get on there and I would find new artists because I liked the album art. That's kind of how I do it now when I go on Tidal, whenever new music release on Friday. If I don't know who it is, I check the album art, check who's featured on it, and be like, okay, this might be something I'm interested in. I'll give it a shot. And I saw the cover for So Far Gone, and I thought it was very interesting. And immediately, as soon as I played it, I heard Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, and I was pretty much a fan from the jump. This was even before Best I Ever Had touched the radio, and I was the first one telling people about Drake at my high school at the time. So that's how long I've been there. And my peak fandom is from 2009 to about 2015, I'd probably say, where in my eyes, Drake couldn't do no wrong. So just like you guys that are so, just so attached, like your entire identity is attached to being a fan of Drake. I was there. Drake couldn't do no wrong. It was one of the few artists that me and my brother were polar opposites. I lost him in 2017. And that was one of the few musical artists that I remember us both liking a lot at the same time. Like, he liked him more than I did, but I was still like a big fan of Drake around this time. Then 2016, it started to wane a little bit. Views wasn't what I wanted. Scorpion, Too Bloated, hit or miss, and the Story of Adidon cover just kind of soured me on whatever Drake had going on, but I was still listening, right? And it wasn't until the 2020s when I started really feeling like I've outgrown this guy. Like, Certified Lover Boy, probably a couple songs on it I listened to. Outside of that, it could throw the whole thing away. Don't listen to Her Loss. As soon as you started dissing Megan Thee Stallion for getting shot in her foot as a victim, or you started dissing Serena Williams' husband for no reason, for the only reason being that she is happily married to somebody else, had a family, doing her own thing, and you just decided to throw shots because you still haven't gotten over that breakup in over a decade. Then For All the Dogs, same thing. You sending shots at Rihanna, you sending more shots at Serena Williams, the weird Millie Bobby Brown bar, just a whole bunch of shit, right? And I was like, yo, Drake ain't for me no more, right? But yo, I still go back and listen to Nothing Was the Same. I go back to listen to Take Care. I go back to listen to If You're Reading This Is Too Late. An album I wasn't really that into when it first dropped, but it eventually grew on me, right? So that's my little history of being a Drake fan. I was a fan in the beginning, up until about 2015. Then it started to get a little shaky, and I was completely off the Drake train in the 2020s because his music just wasn't hitting no more. I had other artists, I had other tastes and interests. I'm a family man now. I have a wife. I have a son. He can't relate to me anymore because his music is still stuck in the same mindset that it was when I was in high school. So that's why I'm not really listening to Drake like that. But I wouldn't say that I'm not a fan anymore, right? Because if he drops something, I'm still gonna check it out. I don't want to hear anything from this nigga now. Like filing a lawsuit because you got your ass whooped in a rap battle is something that I just can't get behind, right? And I know that there's some nut huggers for the Drake fan base that will still support him no matter what he does. But the idea that this man who is a known fraud when it comes to writing his rhymes. I don't care if you think he only wrote, if he only had help with certain tracks, or if like the singing stuff, the pop stuff is what he did, like what he got, somebody else pushing his pen on. The fact is, he is a fraud. And we don't know if any of these raps are penned by Drake. The only ones that I know for sure is the Heart Part 6 and this Fighting Irish freestyle, just because of how terrible they are. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, the guys that have been like riding for Drake so hard to the point where it's almost annoying. Like, I think you're a big reason why this man can't come back. And like, I'm focusing on y'all for a little bit of this because since this beef kicked off and the aftermath of it, I feel like my disdain for Drake starts with you. You guys that are like, yo, you're only hating on Drake because he was the biggest artist in the world for so long, and you just hate to see somebody on top for so long. Nigga, I don't care. I don't care. Drake can make great music, and other people can listen to it. It may not be for me. In the beginning, when all of this was about to kick off, I said, hey, I am a fan of all three of these guys, but I prefer Kendrick's music over Cole, over Drake. But prefer doesn't mean that I hate them, right? It means that, using an analogy, you give me apple juice, orange juice. Ask me, I prefer apple juice. But if you gave me orange juice, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm not going to be like, get that shit out of my face. I'm going to say, I prefer the apple juice. But if the orange juice was the only option I had, I'm going to drink it. You see what I mean? I'm using that kind of analogy because I feel like that I'm talking to fucking children with people that just can't understand the idea of, unless I'm completely just in love with this artist and their music and my identity doesn't surround them, then that means I'm a hater. That means that I never liked them in the first place. And it's a trend now. I'm joining in on the trend to pile on Drake. Drake has had this coming for years. We've heard the stories about, how he's been moving behind the scenes, messing with this guy's girl, pillow talking with this woman right here about this guy's homie, people that's supposed to be his friends, people that are supposed to be his allies, sending cease and desist to get the French Montana feature taken down. That's why Rick Ross jumped into the booth, allegedly telling Metro Boomin, nigga, I don't give a fuck that your mother died. Send me my beats. And that was what's the catalyst of their fallout. So to act like this guy is just being hated on because everybody's just tired of this dude winning, no, he's a piece of shit behind the scenes, allegedly. And I'm only gonna say allegedly because, one, I wasn't there, so I won't say that I know this shit for sure. But also, he liked to send lawsuits. He liked to name streamers and YouTubers and all these other people who were just enjoying the moment. It's the biggest rap battle in the history of hip hop. Because of how big hip hop is right now, because of the two artists and the caliber of them. Like, yeah, we've had Nas and Jay, we had Tupac and Big. Those are the ones that people remember and they always think about the most. But as far as like scope and scale, because of social media, because of the, coverage and the frequency of the songs that were coming out, yes, this is the biggest rap battle in history. Like, this is not even like up to debate at this point. You can debate it in the comments if you want. I'm in rage mode right now. So YouTubers decide to cover this stuff, and you name them in a lawsuit trying to say the Universal is paying them, right? Like, I know some people are saying they're getting sued. I don't think they're getting sued. I think they're just being like named as examples of why this suit is happening against UMG. But the reason why this irritates me is because this is making like their reputation into question now. Like now people are gonna go to these YouTubers and thinking that you got paid for their reactions. And they're not gonna trust that their reactions, their emotions in the moment on camera are authentic. Like it's like, yo, UMG just sent them a check. That's the only reason why they're loving this so much. Or hey, maybe somebody behind the scenes paid and they beefing with this artist. So now we're gonna pay you to hate on it, even if you do like it. Like that's the kind of precedent that this is, setting. This is why this is irritating to me. This is why this lawsuit is the final straw for me. Like I didn't want to hear tough guy. I don't like tough guy Drake. I don't like tough guy Drake, but I still listen to the melodies. Like I don't like nothing on For All the Dogs except for First Person Shooter, which that song feels really weird to listen to now, and Drew a Picasso. Those are the only two songs that I really enjoyed like that. Only two. And Drew a Picasso is the kind of Drake that I like. This is what made me a fan in the beginning. At the beginning of this rant, I said Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. And it was the songs like that on So Far Gone that made me a fan. Like I learned about Comeback Season and all that other shit later. When he was doing this, that was what made me a fan. And that's what made me think that, wow, this guy is something that hip hop needs at that point in time. The late 2000s, the early 2010s. This is the kind of sound and direction that hip hop needs to be in. And maybe I feel like because I supported it, I feel a little guilty. I feel a little guilty because I help, and not just me, because I ain't got no power, but like I'm one of the fans that supported him early on, even when the OGs was telling us, yeah, this guy is not good for hip hop. The conversations about that was going on in the beginning, and we thought, they just old, they hating, they don't like change. In reality, we get this. We get a guy putting in a defamation suit for a rap battle. And that's another precedent that this could set. Like, what major label, knowing that there's a possibility that they could get sued, would ever get behind a diss record being released? And I know, like, some of the defenders are saying, well, like, just don't call him a pedophile. But, like, do you get to dictate what this person gets to sue for? They could sue you for saying, like, for instance, that you beat your wife. Or that you cheated on your woman when you didn't. Or even if you did, the fact that you put it in a song means that I can diss you. And unless you can prove that I didn't or that it ain't true, I might win. I mean, this lawsuit is frivolous as fuck. I'm gonna be, just to be straight up. Like the fact that on Taylor Made Freestyle, you told him to in the Tupac voice, which is something that I had a lot of vitriol for. I didn't do a video because I was getting ready for my album at the time. But I didn't like the Tupac shit. But in Tupac's voice, you said, say he like little girls. I heard it on the Joe Budden podcast. It's probably too. You could hear it on Taylor Made Freestyle. I ain't about to quote this shit like word for word. But you said it on that record. You told him to say that. So that already throws the pedophilia stuff out the window. Everybody know where you live, Drake. So it's trying to say that the album art or the single art is the reason why them niggas came through and shot up your spot. Stop it. Niggas already know where you live. You put that shit out there. Like Reader's Digest or, whatever the fuck. Like you've had like photo shoots and you've done music videos and like you don't hide where the fuck you at. So that's already out the window. You're talking about you scared for your life and you running around with top 5? You running around with top 5 who came out of jail, beat his case thanks to your help, and then immediately started saying he was threatening Kendrick. He immediately saying he was gonna get Kendrick for you. Remember that? You was at the Raptors game with him. You run around with a guy that's threatening the same dude that you said have you out here fearing for your life. This is like Kendrick beat the black off of you, and now your mother's side is coming out apparently. Not to mention that hey, you calling, for defamation. And, you said that this man beat his woman, that he beat Whitney. Like, people have been saying it for a while. Like, bro, of everybody, Whitney has more of a defamation case against you than either you or Kendrick. But the thing that just irritates me the most, like, the thing in the lawsuit that irritates me is that your illusions that when Kendrick called you a colonizer, it was in any way in reference to your Jewish heritage. So basically saying that Kendrick was being anti-Semitic. And you know, in the black community, well, maybe you don't, but in the black community, we seen it with Kyrie, we seen it with Kanye, we seen it. They try to do it with Jay. Like whenever that like anti-Semitic thing gets thrown around with black entertainers or celebrities, yo, that could end real bad for them. That could end real bad for them. So this idea that you're going to try to throw that in there and then just twist it, because there ain't no way anybody with common sense would listen to that song and immediately connect being Jewish with why you're being accused of being a colonizer. Not the fact that you came into this black scene, the black, entertainment mecca, Atlanta, and you just started picking rappers to use to stay relevant. You know, it's 21, it's Future, it's Young Thug, it's the Migos. Like a young rapper get hot coming out of Atlanta, here come Drake. And you could say, wow, he was trying to boost them up. He was trying to show them love. A lot of them was on the come up anyway. Future was already out of here by the time him and Drake linked up for the first time. So don't act like that. But it just seemed like, yo, when somebody got something going on, here come Drake with his fake accents. Here comes Drake switching up, trying to like appropriate what they got going on. All the while, he is a scared little white boy. And that's and I'm going to leave it here. Like, this looks bad on hip hop. Like, you're going to disrespect the art of battling in the culture with this lawsuit. You're going to disrespect YouTubers and streamers, the same people, just like those Atlanta rappers, you have been attaching yourself to try to appeal to the younger demographic, because musically you don't want to grow up. So you might as well take the younger generation under your wing, so that way your content can stay the same. You could just relate to them being in high school, college, even though you are almost 40. That's your plan to stay relevant. I don't know what your end goal is. Is it to try to take down Not Like Us? Like, it's the internet. That song, even if it ain't on streaming platforms, will live on forever. And I promise you, the way that the culture feels about you right now, they're still going to play that song and they're still going to love it. Is it to block it from being played at the Super Bowl? A lot of people are saying, yo, it might not even get played at the Super Bowl. The NFL might not want to, just in fear of, pissing off advertisers. And, they threw a hissy fit when Colin Kaepernick took a knee. They might not want Kendrick Lamar during the halftime show, doing a whole song calling you a pedophile. They might not. So that might not even happen. I just don't understand. You trying to get out of your deal? Are you trying to get out of your deal? You trying to go independent, or you just trying to retire? I feel like the latter is probably the best option right now. You have your fans, but some of the artists, like some of the hardest Drake stands at this point are even looking at you funny. Because lawsuits, dissing over a rap record ain't something that you could just come back from. So yeah, I'm gonna just keep rambling. I'm gonna just keep spazzing. I'm gonna just leave it where it's at right now. I am no longer a Drake fan. Before I was like, yo, he could just go away. He could just go away for a little bit, make the people miss you. Kendrick is on a roll right now. Kendrick is like taking off right now. Just let him have his moment. Let it die down. Have people think, wow, man, it's been a minute and I kind of want to hear some new Drake. And then you just come out with something. People keep saying, yo, just make a fire record and like people are going to forget about this. I really don't think you have to. You're the most streamed artist in history, apparently. Which, I mean, I say apparently because with you throwing around these allegations of bots and how UMG is doing all of these, manipulation tactics to boost Not Like Us, it really makes me put all of your numbers in question. I said this before in another video. That's just how I feel. So now those numbers don't even appeal to me anymore. They never did, but they really look like I'm putting them under a magnifying glass. Because the only way you would make these kind of claims is if you know how it's being done, firsthand. But it's too late for that. Like, since this battle ended, you just made terrible move after terrible move. The 100 gigs thing was probably the only thing that could have worked, but because it still was connected to the beef, because you're still throwing subliminals, you're still making little trolly posts and shit on Instagram, and it's just, I can't. I think I was already outgrowing you. You just kind of sped it up. But yeah, man, fuck Drake. Fuck Drake for hip hop. fuck Drake for these young streamers that you trying to throw under the bus by even insinuating that they paid off. They got paid off to show genuine love to the song Not Like Us. And just fuck you for the culture. You came in and you invaded and we embraced you. And the minute you don't get your way, the minute you take your first real L in your career, you do this. You turn into a Karen. Like, I can't respect that. I don't respect you. But yo, let me know what your thoughts are. I didn't really plan for this video to happen. I am just mad. And I am very upset as a hip hop fan, as a hip hop artist, that this has even come to this. So yeah, I'm done. Whatever Drake does, Drake is gonna do. I might not even cover, unless it's big enough, unless it's worth talking about, might not even cover it on this channel. But till next time, it's your boy Viddy Dangerous. This has been 1430. Much love.